This is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
The voting continues now at noon, and we're hours from finding out which of the Democratic presidential candidates will get a boost from the first primary in the country. Former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg is looking to knock off frontrunner Bernie Sanders in today's New Hampshire primary. ABC's Trevor Ault is live in Manchester today. He's following all the Democratic candidates, looking for those last-minute voters. Trevor.
After months of campaigning in the past week blitzing the state, it's now out of these candidates' hands. New Hampshire voters casting their ballots in America's first primary of 2020. New Hampshire voters are heading to the polls, and in many cases, so are the candidates. The first primary officially underway. Mayor Pete Buttigieg, who exceeded expectations in Iowa, asked if he believes he'll win tonight.
We think so. It feels fantastic. The volunteers are fired up, and the energy on the ground is wonderful.
What's the win look like,
We're
man?
encouraged.
Also riding a significant wave of support, Senator Amy Klobuchar. With her crowd sizes seeing a sharp rise, she also took home the most votes from the first 3 New Hampshire townships.
The midnight polls are any indication, we're going to have a pretty good night tonight.
The candidate swinging the other direction, former Vice President Joe Biden. While still asking voters to stick with him, the Biden campaign announcing he's headed to South Carolina tonight. He's also downplaying expectations, telling MSNBC.
Bernie won this with 20 points last time. He's got a next-door neighbor advantage, and he's got a real enthusiasm going here. And but I still feel good. This is, it's a long haul.
Those comments coming after a new national poll showed the VP trailing Senator Bernie Sanders for the first time. And that's as Sanders sits atop the state polls here in New Hampshire and is bringing out huge crowds.
Let us go forward. Let us have the largest voter turnout in the history of the New Hampshire primary. Let's win this thing. Let's transform.
Also stealing some headlines out of New Hampshire is former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. He's not on the ballot here in the state, but he still managed to win the midnight vote in one of the first townships here in New Hampshire. Trevor Ault, ABC News, Manchester, New Hampshire. Back to you.
Trevor, thank you. Well, back here at home, we'll be following the results of the New Hampshire primary as they come in here at RTV6. Don't forget, we'll have special live coverage from ABC News once the returns are in throughout the evening. You can follow along with all the results on the IndyChannel.com throughout the day. It is time to take a check of our forecast back here at home in central Indiana. This is our Weather Now camera downtown view to the north. And Todd, today is kind of our calm day in the forecast, so we're soaking it up.
Yeah, it's not a bad day. It's a very typical February day temperature-wise. We're climbing through the 30s right now across all locations. 36 in Indianapolis, 39 in Bloomington, 32 in Crawfordsville, and 36 in Muncie. We always could wish for a little more in the way of sunshine, but it's not a bad day out there. And these clouds are continuing to thin across parts of the area, and the skies will at least brighten just a little bit later on this afternoon for us as you look from IMS back off towards downtown Indianapolis. We had a few flurries earlier this morning. They have moved out of the area, and you can see, especially in northern locations, these clouds starting to thin just a little bit. The further south you are, a little thicker the clouds are going to be as a result of that departing storm system. And then off to our west, this overall weather pattern just remains very active. This is our weather maker for the day tomorrow, and it's going to bring us some snow, some sleet, freezing rain, and plain old rain for many of us by the time we get to tomorrow afternoon and evening. So today, you can get outdoors, just have to bundle up a little bit with a high right around 40 degrees, which is average for this time of year. And then this evening, we remain dry. Your morning commute tomorrow is just fine. A little bit of a different story tomorrow evening. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. This midday, Metro Police are still looking for a suspect after a shooting on the west side. Sent a man to the hospital. This happened after 11:30 last night in Chapel Hill apartment complex near 10th and Girls School Road. We're told that the 22-year-old victim was shot when he was approached by at least one suspect and tried to get away. He was able to run to a nearby strip mall and get help. Police are still talking to witnesses and looking at surveillance video to identify the suspect. We're told the victim is expected to survive. The Northwest Hendricks School Corporation says it cannot fire a teacher accused of sexual misconduct with a student, at least not yet. Last month, Hendricks County prosecutors charged Tri-West High School teacher Tyler Bruce with child seduction. He's currently on unpaid suspension. The school board meets tonight at 6:30, but Bruce will not be terminated by the board tonight. A district spokeswoman says the district is taking steps to fire Bruce, but he has chosen to exercise his due process rights and has requested a meeting with the superintendent. Some parents are expected to ask for the entire board's resignation tonight because of how they've handled the Tyler Bruce matter. That includes letting him be paid for the 7 months while he was on leave. Again, that meeting is set for 6:30 p.m. tonight at Tri-West Middle School. The board is also expected to approve a new parent code of conduct that eliminates sanctions for parents who speak out against the school on social media. Only on RTV6, an investigation into health concerns at a Decatur Township school begins tomorrow with interviews of staff members. The purpose is to get information to determine the best plan of attack. The Blue and Gold Academies off Man Road in Indianapolis share a facility. It's home to 147 staff members and almost 1,400 students. RTV6 has learned that the health issues involve teachers reporting head-related tumors. Most recently in August and September of last year, and this past January, as well as one case in 2018. Those 4 cases led the school district to hire an environmental company to investigate before any testing is started.
The faculty that are there, the students that go there, I treat that as if this is my own family. And the whole idea was this, is that the fact that we have people even speculating this, wanted to go ahead and take action to be able to address it.
Well, the school district says the investigation and testing could take several months. The superintendent tells us that handling and resolving this issue is a top priority. We have a full report on this developing story right now on the RTV6 app and also at theindychannel.com. Target is hiring Hoosiers. The retailer is looking to fill positions for its new store up in West Lafayette. The company needs to hire 65 people for its new small format store. It's going to open on State Street on April 5th. A hiring event is underway today at Young Hall on the Purdue University campus. That runs until 5 o'clock this evening. You're encouraged to apply online at target.com/careers ahead of time. Well, you want your money to go to a good cause, but you also don't want to lose your money. Coming up, tips on what charities are legitimate and those that may not be. And he's trying to make a name for himself in his profession, and with one leap of faith, he may have just done that because this video is now going viral. Todd.
As you walk out the door this afternoon, no issues whatsoever, but we are tracking another winter storm that is going to be heading our way. It arrives tomorrow, and with it, a whole mixed bag of rain, snow, sleet, and potentially even some freezing rain. We'll detail it coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. You're watching the news at noon right here on RTV6.
Series premiere tonight on ABC. This is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
I'm Ted Rollins. Today on Court TV, the defense in the Harvey Weinstein rape trial is expected to wrap up. 2 key witnesses took the stand yesterday for the defense, contradicting the stories of 2 of the alleged victims. Weinstein is facing the possibility of life in prison if convicted. We're also covering the ice cream man murder trial in Tampa, Florida. Michael Keatley facing double murder and 4 counts of attempted murder after what prosecutors say was a revenge-filled shooting spree on Thanksgiving Day morning in 2010. One of the victims of that shooting and who survived took the stand on Monday.
He ordered us to get our IDs out and get in the ground.
What did you do?
We first didn't do exactly what he asked, but then he asked again, and he cussed us out, and he had a rifle with him, and he pumped it, he clocked it.
We'll have continuing coverage from both trials, including live testimony from Tampa throughout the day on Court TV. Now back to you.
You can learn more about other court cases happening around the nation right now by visiting courttv.com. Well, February is American Heart Month, and we're going red for women. Up next, you'll hear the incredible story of a stroke survivor and the warning signs that could just save your life. Here's a live look outside right now from our Weather Now camera on top of the pagoda out at IMS, looking back towards the city skyline. Todd Clausen will have our full forecast ahead, looking towards the rest of the week, all the way into the weekend. That's coming up here when we return with the news at noon. Stick around.
Keller and Keller.
Time now for an RTV6 Consumer Alert. Joining me in studio today is Tim Maniscalco with the Better Business Bureau. Tim, we always hear those warnings when you're donating to charities. You need to be careful, which is true. But you guys did a study about charities. Can you share us kind of what you found?
Yeah, this was a study that BBB did about charities and how people perceive charities, particularly how they perceive them in terms of trust. And number one, we found out that trust is very, very important when people are thinking about giving to a charity. They want to make certain that, hey, that money is going to go to what the cause is that the charity is trying to tackle. So it's very, very important that people trust it. And it's kind of interesting. There is a little bit of a gender gap. A lot of people say they don't trust charities, but it's a little bit higher with females than it is with males. So if you've got a lot of female donors, you might want to double your efforts to say, hey, we are a good charity. We are a trustworthy charity, that type of thing. The groups that really did not score well, or really they lost a lot of trust in the survey from year to year. It was civil rights organizations, community action organizations. Those were not as well trusted as they were in the past. So I think maybe those organizations might have a little bit of work to do. And here's the big thing. If you can show accomplishment, if you can show, hey, we did this with the money that you gave us last time, or here's some of the things that we did, that really goes a long way to demonstrating to a potential donor, hey, if I give my money, some good's going to come out of that. So if you're a charity, really work on those types of things and show what is it that you've done, what have you accomplished. That's going to build a lot of trust with a potential donor.
All right, some great advice there, Tim. Thank you so much. This has been an RTV6 Consumer Alert. Well, February is American Heart Month, and RTV6 is partnering with the Go Red for Women campaign sponsored by the American Heart Association. Today, we're highlighting survivor Nicole Murray. She survived not one, but 2 strokes before her 30th birthday, and she's still in recovery today. Murray is one of 9 women chosen across the country to be a spokesperson for the Go Red for Women campaign. Last week, she was flown to New York City, where she was pampered with new clothes, a photo shoot, and most importantly, she got the chance to tell her story. She says one of the most important things to remember is to understand your body.
It's important to know the risk factors. You want to make sure you check your blood pressure. You want to make sure that you see your doctor and you talk about the risk for cardiovascular disease and strokes. You want to make sure that your family history doesn't put you at risk as well.
Since Murray had her strokes, she says 3 more people in her family have also had one. So it's very important to know the warning signs of a stroke. They include droopiness in your face, weakness in your arms, and slurred speech. Our Kelsey Anderson has more about Nicole Murray's story of survival right now on the IndyChannel.com, and also coming up tonight on the news at 5 o'clock. Right now, we want to take another look outside. Todd, this is a downtown view looking west. What can we expect today? And I know we have a lot going on this week.
Yeah, you know, so it's really tomorrow into Thursday that we'll start to run into some issues here once again. And just like the past few storms, we're going to be right on the borderline of dealing with rain, some sleet, and freezing rain. And it's going to be a pretty complex forecast going forward. Today, it is dry. That is the good news. That mix arrives tomorrow. And so it's really Wednesday evening and Thursday morning's commute that will have to pay attention for slick conditions for some of you. For some of you, it's just going to be completely wet, and we're just going to mainly deal with rain. We'll dive into that in just a second. Outside right now, temperatures are in the 30s anywhere you go. 37 Greencastle, Martinsville, 35 Greenfield, 36 in Muncie, 32 is the current temperature over in the Richmond area. Highs today will climb up into the low 40s to the south, about 41 degrees in Indianapolis, upper 30s to the north, and even a little bit of sunshine is starting to appear here and there across parts of the area. If you do see some sunshine, enjoy it. It won't last all afternoon as it kind of toggles back and forth between partly to mostly cloudy skies, and in southern locations, don't be shocked maybe if you see a flurry or 2, but it shouldn't amount to anything whatsoever. And overall, it's just a decent day. I guess we could ask for a little more sunshine than we'll have throughout the day today, but temperature-wise, we're not bad. Storm system bypassed us to the south this morning. Off to our west, there's another storm system that is going to head our way pretty quickly throughout the day tomorrow. Now, your morning commute tomorrow is going to be just fine. We're not dealing with any precipitation. It's really mid-afternoon and then into the evening hours that will start to bring a whole bunch of precipitation into the forecast. We already have some flood watches issued. We do not have any winter weather advisories or watches out from the National Weather Service as of yet. So here's how it's going to break down, I think, potentially across the area. So to the south, it starts off as a little snow, quickly goes over to all rain, probably not much in the way of any accumulation at all. Through this area that I have highlighted in the pink, it's snow over to rain and mixed precipitation. And within this band, that's where snowfall totals are going to drop very, very quickly. I could foresee a couple counties here to the north, the northern part of the county getting a couple inches of snow. The southern part of the county probably just dealing with a whole lot in the way of rain. It's really Lafayette to Kokomo up towards Peru and points to the north where you mainly stay as all snow. And this is going to come in two waves. We're going to get the first wave coming in here tomorrow afternoon and evening, and then some of those snowfall totals, you really don't start to see the accumulation until early Thursday morning. So keep in mind as this precipitation comes in, you have to keep an eye on these temperatures. You see the snow, but with temperatures above freezing, especially while the sun is up, there's probably not going to be a whole lot in the way of accumulation taking place, and then this rain snow line continues to creep to the north. And the question is tomorrow after sunset, how far does this rain snow line make it to the north? You see to the north, temperatures are hovering right around the freezing mark, and so that's why that's the best potential to the north for seeing the accumulating snow. And then eventually by Thursday morning, we'll be dealing with snow showers for everybody as this colder air starts to make its way into the area, and that'll continue into Thursday afternoon as well. So potential snowfall totals to the south, not a whole lot. I think most of the metro area is probably close to an inch, maybe a little bit more than that. And then to the north, we'll get into the 2 to maybe 4 inch snowfall totals, with some of this being added on again Thursday after that first initial push when we deal with the mixed conditions behind this storm system. We are looking at much colder air. Valentine's Day, 8 degrees to start off your Valentine's Day, only up to 21 for your afternoon high. And here's a look at your 7-day planning forecast. The good news is it's just a quick shot of very cold air that will be in place. By the time we get to Saturday and Sunday, temperatures will be up into the mid 40s. But the focus for right now, though, will be tomorrow afternoon and evening. Plenty of time to fine-tune the forecast. I know on social media, people have been talking about a big-time snow. At this point, I do not see that here in central Indiana.
All right, Todd. Well, we'll continue to check in with you as you get those totals down. So thank you so much. Well, you sometimes hear us say, don't try this at home. And this time we really mean it. PJ Hawks is trying to follow his father's footsteps as a pro wrestler. PJ's now noticed for what he pulled off at an independent wrestling show that was held in the middle of a shopping mall. In the middle of the match, PJ took the escalator upstairs to the balcony above where the ring was set up. You see him up there, and then watch this. He dives all the way down into the ring. Notice how the other wrestlers helped to break his fall there. We can tell you everyone is okay, and now that video is everywhere. It's being played on SportsCenter and has millions of views on social media. Again, yeah, don't try that at home. When we come back here, it's time for the Pet of the Week. I want you to meet Blarney. Look at this good boy. Some at the shelter call him the perfect dog. We're going to tell you why and how this sweet boy can become a part of your family. That's after the break.
Call Ken.
All right, Gabby is here with our Indy Humane Pet of the Week. And Gabby, today we have Blarney, and he is just about the perfect dog. And he's just been through some bad circumstances. He had one owner break up with a girlfriend, so he had to give the dog back. And so he's looking for his forever home.
He is. So there's really not... I mean, there's so many things I could say about Blarney. He's really goofy, loving. He loves squeaky toys. He thinks he's a lap dog, so a home where he can get on the furniture, snuggle with you would be perfect. He's just happy-go-lucky. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely a staff and volunteer favorite. He always has a smile on our faces.
Yeah. And we will point out that he's a pretty strong dog, though. Yes. So probably maybe not the best for some more elderly people, somebody that's going to be able to hang on to the leash.
Exactly.
He has a lot of energy he wants to burn as well. But he's been plopped down here. He's had some energy. He likes the squeaky toy, as you talk about.
Loves
and
it.
The best thing about Blarney, no adoption fee, I read.
Yes, he's been sponsored because he is such a favorite. He's such a good boy.
And he knows his commands.
He does. Very smart.
All right, if you think Blarney could be a great addition to your household, told you he likes the squeaky toys.
He does.
He'll be available once Gabby gets back. Quick look at your 7-day planning forecast here. Mostly cloudy skies today. Tomorrow morning's commute will be dry. Rain and snow, though, for tomorrow evening.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. And thanks for joining us and making RTV6 your choice for news. We'll see you at 5. Have a great day.